Looking back, it's easy to kind of see when the changes were happening, but of course when you're in the moment, you don't really realize it.
It was tough. Yeah, we were kind of got bounced around to a few different doctors, and no one really knew exactly what was going on.
She complained of books, letters and words were bouncing off the page. So we went to optometrists, a number of optometrists, and finally Susan said, I think I should go see a neuro-ophthalmologist. He gave Susan a scan, and about an hour later he came back and said, I know exactly what's wrong with you. You have posterior cortical atrophy. And then later on, this Alzheimer's started to develop too.
Dementia can be seen as an umbrella of symptoms and behaviors, and they are caused by a number of diseases. Alzheimer's disease is one of them. Vascular dementia is another one. Frontotemporal dementia, Lewy body dementia, those are probably the four most common.
I was shocked. I was shocked because Susan, she's got a very good education. She went to private school here in Victoria and went to university here in Victoria, and she can't read. I really feel for her.
Looking back, it was definitely like having to tell my mom things a couple times for her to hear what I was saying. And I remember thinking, like, she's not listening to me. It's so frustrating. But then now I'm like, oh, well, she was listening to me. It was just taking longer for the, the material to get into her brain.
First of all, I didn't sometimes see things that was right in front of me. I couldn't find things that were around.
Driving, kind of, drifting a little bit over in the lanes, and I mean, it was never like, accidents or anything like that, but, like, oh, Mom, like, move over.
5 years now that I've been, since I had it, and yeah, over the time, it gradually gets a little, it may change a little bit, or you can have to work a little harder to do things. And of course, the thing that I have now with filing words, that's fairly new.
It often starts with changes to the short-term memory. You may see differences in the ability to process language, so forgetting words or for going around and describing an object instead of being able to give the word for it. There may be disorientation in time and disorientation in place, so suddenly not knowing where you are, even in a familiar location. And you'll also see some other cognitive changes, such as a difficulty in making decisions, difficulty with abstract thoughts. People can exhibit changes in their gait. They may become unstable and start having more falls.
The only thing I can do is be here for her.
It's definitely a disease that you need a very good, strong community around you, whatever that community may be. And I think there's a lot of people that fall through the gaps. It's another thing I've really learned is you must advocate for yourself.
Sometimes it frustrates me too when I see a struggle going on, and it's difficult to help her. And I don't help her until she asks for help. Just have to develop a strategy to deal with it and make it easy for the person to cope with the surroundings.
My favorite thing for frustration is I love going outside and going for walks, and I have all my family give walks with me, and I have wonderful friends, 5 or 6 of them who come, regularly.
30 minutes of exercise a day that raises your heart rate can reduce your chances of developing dementia by 40%.
The biggest thing for me is I try to put a smile on my mom's face whenever I can, and try to make the harder days a bit easier for her and the dark days a bit lighter.
Exercise, a healthy diet, yes, keeping your mind active, and if that's doing Sudoku, that's great, but trying to expand into an area that you don't know very much about. So if you used to play piano, try the violin.
I played music, and that's one of the things that, the first thing that happened, I couldn't follow the little black thing you do when you're trying to, on a line. I've always wanted to drum, so I took up drumming. I switched to something I can do rather than moan over what I can't.
There's an estimated 564,000 Canadians living with dementia right now, and in the next 15 years we expect that to increase by 66% to rising to about 937,000.
For the overall, I mean, I really hope that society can accommodate these people and that we can become dementia-friendly societies.
Be patient, be understanding, and whenever you start to feel overwhelmed or maybe frustrated or getting a bit angry, you just have to step back and think about how the person that you're dealing with is feeling.
Susan is kind of one of my heroes. She's taken her own personal time and resources to travel with the disease, and she traveled to present at Alzheimer conferences around the world. There's lots of support through the Society, and we're working hard to reduce the stigma of the disease out in the community through our Dementia Friends initiative.
If someone has Alzheimer's or dementia, seek help. Don't try to do it alone.